Boeing this morning reporting a more than $2 billion loss across its defense and space businesses for the third quarter. Those results come as investors raise concerns about the troubled company's future. Among the questions, what to do with Boeing's space program. Last week, NASA announced it would pause planned missions aboard its Starliner spacecraft. Akiko Fujita takes a look at what this means for Boeing's future in space. Hey, Akiko.
Hey there, Maddie. Yeah, the space program for Boeing has remained a smaller part of Boeing's overall revenue, but profits and steady revenue from that division, along with its defense program, have historically provided a cushion for the broader company. That hasn't been the case since 2022. Both divisions have lost more than $8 billion over the last few years. That is slightly more than Boeing's commercial plane business during the same period. And there's a number of factors that have led to that, including fixed price contracts for NASA and the Pentagon. None have been more damaging than the struggles around Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. The company won a $4.2 billion fixed price contract from NASA a decade ago to build a vehicle that would shuttle astronauts to and from the International Space Station. But the project has been riddled with problems around its propulsion system. Now, the spacecraft launched its first crewed mission this summer, but NASA opted to return the astronauts on board a SpaceX vehicle, Crew Dragon, after the Starliner experienced additional mechanical issues on its inaugural trip. All combined, Boeing has reported a loss of $1.6 billion directly tied to the Starliner program. And as you mentioned last week, NASA said it would pause future Boeing missions altogether, although it left the door open for Starliner's future, saying future flights will be determined, quote, once a better understanding of Boeing's path to system certification is established. NASA added that it is keeping options on the table, including a potential Starliner flight in 2025. And while Boeing weighs the future of Starliner, it is looking to unload another space asset, United Launch Alliance, or ULA. The company's been in talks to sell its joint venture with Lockheed Martin. It's been a major provider of launch services to the U.S. government, and any deal to sell the company would be valued anywhere from $2 to $3 billion, at least according to Reuters, guys.
So, Akiko, I guess, what does this then mean for other names within that space, within space travel, a name like SpaceX?
Yeah, I mean, without Boeing, SpaceX will be the sole player in NASA's Commercial Crew program. The company won a government contract to ferry astronauts to the ISS the same year that Boeing did. Now, they succeeded on their inaugural flight in 2020. They're now on their 15th crewed mission on board the Crew Dragon capsule. And NASA has said they are moving forward with 2 crewed flights next year. Both will be on board a SpaceX capsule. But there are competitors we should mention who are looking to break the virtual monopoly that SpaceX has had on the industry. And we're specifically talking about crewed missions here. Blue Origin, founded by Amazon's Jeff Bezos, set to launch its latest New Shepard capsule today. That's going to be an uncrewed mission. Its bigger vehicle, New Glenn, with its reusable booster, is scheduled to launch potentially next year. SpaceX Crew 8 is expected to undock, by the way, from the ISS at 5 p.m. Eastern today as well to begin the journey back home with splashdown expected Friday. So SpaceX sort of just churning out these missions in the absence of Boeing. But as we heard from Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg on the call this morning, there's got to be a fundamental culture change, and that's going to include a review of the space and defense programs as well.